What's up, everybody? It's your girl Megan, show fitness instructor, and today I'm going to go over some tips to help you guys learn the 20 muscles around the hip, as well as their general location if you're trying to become a level 1 Suf-Cpt. Now, if you guys haven't heard already, I am our director of CPTs, so if you have any questions whatsoever in regards to become a certified personal trainer, go ahead, reach out to me by commenting below, message me on Instagram at ACT7VE, as well as my email, megan@showfitness.com, to make sure that you have all your questions answered and squared away. We have our Suf-Cpt internship course, whether that's online or in person, where you're going to learn anatomy, programming, business, sales, nutrition assessments, everything that you guys need to know to make this a long-lasting and successful career. If you guys did go through the textbook CPT route, and you go through our course and you feel like you didn't learn more through our course than you did reading that textbook, we'll give you your money back. So really, there's no point for you guys not to show up. Of course, you guys are trying to become a level 1 Suf-Cpt, so let's get to it. 20 muscles of the hip, general location, how to pronounce them, and some tips for it. So there's 5 groups that we're looking at here. We've got the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, the adductors, and the calves. The tip for you guys to know, whenever you look at a muscle name, I know they're kind of weird, long, hard to pronounce and everything, but when you look at it and you break it down, the prefix, the suffix, all that stuff from Latin, it describes either what it looks like or where it's at in the body. So we'll go on to the groups here, but just keep that in mind. When I look at the quads here, it's going to be anterior, the front side of the body. There's 4 quad muscles that we have. We have the vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, vastus intermedius, and rectus femoris. So when you look at vastus, it means large. When you look at the other parts of those vastus, it's general location-wise, right? So vastus lateralis, lateral, meaning outside, vastus medialis, medial, meaning inside, and vastus intermedius, meaning in between the two there. Looked at rectus femoris. Rectus means straight, and femoris is referring to the leg bone here, right? So our leg bone is femur, femur femoris, so straight down the leg there. Now, the rectus femoris is going to be more superficial, meaning on top of the vastus intermedius. So all 4 of these quad muscles are going to extend the knee, but only the rectus femoris is going to flex at the hip because it crosses 2 joints, biarticulate, the hip and the knee there. That's the 4 quad muscles. I know people love acronyms, so how you can remember that is RVs. R for rectus femoris, V's for all the vastuses. Now let's move on to the hamstrings on the back side. Back meaning posterior, right? So we've got 3 hamstring muscles going from lateral to medial, so outside to inside, acronym BTM, right? So we've got B, the most lateral, being the bicep femoris. What does bicep mean? Well, we also have a bicep here in the arm, but bicep refers to 2 heads here. And then we look at femoris, once again, femur, leg bone, so that's why the bicep femoris is here. This is your bicep brachii. Brachii referring to upper arm there. So hamstring muscles, once again, lateral, bicep femoris. For the B, the T, semitendinosus, and then the M, semimembranosus. If you guys are looking at the actual diagram or pictures of these muscles, you'll see that the semitendinosus has more of a long tendon, and the semimembranosus is more flat when you look at the tendinosus and membranosus of that Latin origin there. And I know, of course, anatomy is hard and confusing to understand. If you haven't already, make sure that you tune in to Travis's calls on Friday. His anatomy calls are great. I know he does some cool videos with that little talking to you, but he's also very informative and fun with it. He also has his YouTube, so make sure to check out his. How's the hamstring muscles, bicep femoris, semitendinosus, semimembranosus. Main action that you'll see here is going to be flexion at the knee. Next group that's going to be your adductors. There's 3 of them. Referring to adducted means bringing the leg back to the body's midline. So adduct, adductor groups, that's their action, the main one that they're going to do, obviously more, but that's where it's going to describe it there. And then the acronyms for you guys to help memorize, these ones would be MLB. So adductor magnus, adductor longus, and adductor brevis. When you're looking, once again, at the diagram for them, magnus is going to be the biggest one, longus, the long one, and brevis, the short one. The group that we're going to have is going to be the glutes. Once again, 3 muscles in this group. Glute max, med, and min is what I'll usually say to help you guys memorize it, because max, I think biggest, med, think like medium, and min, think minimum, so from bigger to smaller. You'll also see that they're more from superficial to deep and how they are placed in the body. But when it comes to actual test taking day, make sure you say the full name so we know that you guys know what the actual muscles are. So it's gluteus maximus, going to be the big guy in the back. Gluteus medius, more on the outside. And then if you remove the gluteus medius, lying underneath would be the gluteus minimus. Those are the 3 glute muscles. You guys can just remember it as the GMs. Gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and gluteus minimus. Last group that we have are going to be the calves. This one has 7 muscles in it. Now, most people know the main 2 ones. We got our gastrocnemius and our soleus. It's the remaining 5 muscles that people kind of have a hard time with. So gastrocnemius, gastroc referring to like belly, big guy. It obviously has medial and lateral heads, but the gastrocnemius is going to be more on top, superficial. Underneath, more flat, would be your soleus. So the main action that these 2 muscles are going to do are this, plantar flexion. Fun fact, when you're doing a seated calf raise, you're going to be recruiting more of your soleus versus standing would be your gastrocnemius. The remaining 5 ones that people kind of get caught up on are going to be referring to where they're at on the body once again. So looking at the bones here, we already said the leg bone is the femur, right? We also have 2 bones down here. The big one, more medial, is going to be referred to as the shin bone, is your tibia. The more lateral one, kind of a thinner bone, is going to be referred to as the calf bone, would be your fibula. So when I look at the tibia, we've got 2 muscles here. We got the anterior tibialis and the posterior tibialis. So once again, looking at the anatomy turn, anterior means front side. So the front side of my tibia, more on the lateral side of it, not on the medial side, but anterior tibialis. And then on the back side, so it's going to be underneath the gastrocnemius and soleus, would be my posterior tibialis. Those are the tibialises, so that's 2. Next remaining 3 calf muscles, we're going to be looking at the fibula. Sometimes these muscles will be called your fibularis because it is a fibula, but Latin term for fibula is your peroneus, your peroneals. So you got your peroneal longus, the longest one, brevis, shorter one, and tertius. Tertius just means 3rd in Latin, so just the last one of those 3. So when you're looking at where they're at the body, you can see the action, right? So we already went over the gastrocnemius and the soleus helping with plantar flexion because the posterior tibialis and the peroneal longus and brevis are more back or lateral outside. They're also going to help with plantar flexion. When I look at the anterior tibialis, more front side, as well as the peroneal tertius, more on the front side, they're going to help with dorsiflexion when I bring my toes up. And another acronym to help you guys memorize 7 calf muscles would be GAPS. So G, gastrocnemius, A, anterior tibialis, P's, posterior tibialis, peroneal longus, brevis, and tertius, S, soleus. Once again, these are the 20 muscles that you guys are going to need to know if you want to become a level 1 SUF-CPT, and also the number for it. So we've got a lot of muscles in here. We've got the glutes, the adductors, and the hamstrings, which are 3 muscles. We've got the quads, which are 4 muscles, and the calves, which are 7. So I think I have 3s, 3 plus 4 equals 7. That's like how I remember it number-wise, but when we're looking at acronym-wise, it breaks it down here. So RVs, rectus femoris, 3 vastuses, vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius, and vastus medialis. Then when I look at the adductors, MLB, so adductor magnus, adductor longus, adductor brevis. A look at the hamstrings, once again, BTM, bicep femoris, semitendinosus, semimembranosus. And then when we look at the glutes, GMs, gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, gluteus minimus. And then the last ones, once again, we just went over, but the calves, GAPS, gastrocnemius,
anterior tibialis, posterior tibialis,
peroneal longus, brevis, and tertius. Soleus, these are tips that will hopefully help you guys learn the 20 muscles of the hip a little bit better. Once again, this is just part of the SUF-CPT. I don't want you guys just to memorize them and just be pointing at the body. I want you guys to actually learn about, once again, where they're at so you can learn the actions of them. So then when it comes to programming, it's going to be a whole lot easier for you guys to do so. I have not attended one of Katie's programming calls, part of our online internship. You guys must do that. She is very helpful with that. She also has a YouTube, so go ahead, follow her there so you guys can stay up to date on programming. Programming is a big issue that personal trainers have, and it's during these calls, during these classes, these YouTubes, that we try and help you guys learn the foundations, the basics, the anatomy that makes programming a whole lot easier. This is just a little bit of information that you guys would get when becoming a level 1 SUF-CPT. Now, once again, like I said, we do have our in-person location here in La Jolla, California, as well as West Hollywood, Santa Monica. We do have our next internship starting June 5th. We have spots that are closing up soon, so if you want to secure yours, make sure to reach out to me, once again, by commenting below or message me on Instagram at active ACT7VE, as well as at megan@showupfitness.com for my email. And of course, once again, if you cannot come in person, that's okay. We do have online, so we can reach you wherever you're at, anywhere in the world. It's occurring year-round, going on right now. We're talking about hip anatomy. That's why I'm going over these muscles. But if you guys want to join one of these calls and you haven't already, you can use my code Megan25 to get a discount on that tier. And lastly, of course, if you cannot come to us, we will come to you. We have weekend seminars occurring every month or so. So make sure that you stay up to date for those dates that are coming up. And if you guys haven't already, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe so you guys do not miss any of the new content that I have to post out to become a certified personal trainer, most importantly, a qualified personal trainer by becoming an Suf-Cpt. So as you guys already know, if you want to become a great, successful personal trainer, all you got to do is show up. It's your girl, Megan, out of here.